Hi guys, it's been 7 weeks since our last video, and to be fair, the reason for that is that the studio has been down for upgrade and maintenance, which is what we're going to look at in this video today. But also later in this video I will share with you the Intel Bombshell, which quite frankly has pissed me off. So stick around for that. Oh, and also you'll probably notice that I should really cut down on my curry intake. Never gonna happen. So here's what we're up to today, guys. We've got a bit of studio maintenance and upgrade to do, primarily this beast here. The shutters are open. Now that's the first time they've been open since the studio was built in 2020, and so the state of the void between the window and the diffusers was quite horrendous, because 2 years ago we had a load of sandblasting done outside and some of that material got into the frame. I still have to look to see what's behind those shutters. At the moment we're running an Asus Z97 Deluxe board with an i7 4700, I think. We've got 32 gig of RAM, and if you'd have seen a video, I'll leave a description in the link, we put this GeForce RTX 3060 in to help with the YouTube editing. The Z97 board is a 2012 board, and the RME actually has a Thunderbolt connection, but you can't put a Thunderbolt on the old board. So I needed to upgrade the motherboard. So I'm assuming that some of you have already guessed what I'm about to say. I'd already ordered and taken delivery of all the upgraded computer parts, including this Asus Maximus Z790 Dark Hero motherboard, because it has not one but two Thunderbolt 4 ports. I'd shipped all this stuff off to my IT guy, who had already built it and commissioned the new studio PC, when I happened to come across this video by David Gnozzi of Mixbus TV. I'll leave a link in the description below. Basically, David was in the same position as us, as he was upgrading his PC. He was going with a new Intel i9 14000K, a new motherboard, etc, etc, etc. But having built his new PC, he discovered that none of his Thunderbolt devices was being recognised, and in a nutshell, it seems that Intel, in their ultimate wisdom, aka greed, had decided that Thunderbolt 4 was not going to be backwards compatible. So the whole reason for us to upgrade to a new motherboard and thus requiring a new chip and memory, etc, yada 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 yada, for the Thunderbolt speed, bearing in mind we might be recording over 20 channels simultaneously at potentially 96 kilohertz and 32-bit float, was a waste of time. Well, not entirely, because the speed difference of this new machine is phenomenal, and it makes things like editing this video much quicker and easier. Anyhow, having commented on Dave's channel, somebody advised us that Asus had come up with a BIOS upgrade which basically retrograded the Thunderbolt 4 ports to Thunderbolt 3. So my IT guy came round, we made the necessary changes in the BIOS, we connected the RME to the computer with a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 cable, nada. We then realised that we might need to have a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapter. So I bought this one, which is an Apple one, nada. I then found out that StarTech did an adapter, so I bought that and we tried that, nada. In the end we gave up and we're back to USB 3.1. So thank you, Intel. Oh, and before you Mac guys start giving me grief, I understand, I just hate Apple. I hate their arrogant attitude towards their customers, the customer's choice to amend, update, upgrade. This studio PC of mine is on its 4th upgrade, so let's just not go there. Anyhow, back to the upgrades. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the guts out of this machine and we're going to put the guts of this machine in a new tower, and then I'll show you now the specs of the new machine that we're going to have made up. So while that machine's out for upgrades, so I've got an issue with dry joints on some of the patch bays, hence why these are jumpered. So some of you might notice that the desk is not exactly bang in the middle of the room. And the reason for that is that the old studio setup, if you can see in there, there is a lot of cabling that comes up from the drumming room, which is across the landing there. So the furniture was positioned so that that came up at the back. But I kind of think now that ideally we want the desk bang in the middle, and I also want to bring it into the room a little further to put a bit more space behind, and also that I'm going to be sat a bit further away from the A77X Adams that we have, because we've noticed the further back in the room you sit, the more bass response you seem to be getting from the speakers. Sorry to interrupt again, but what I've just said all changes, as you will see later in the video. So being here is a mixed position is not as ideal. So not by much, but maybe 100mm, 150mm back here. So we're hoping to do that, hence why speakers have gone and the mixing desk has gone. And yes, we need to do a bit of a dust and a clean. So with no more to do, we shall turn the computer off. I'm hoping the next time that gets turned on, we'll have a whole new upgraded system. You can see that is the hole that's going to be exposed, so that back corner is going to move forward and that way, and then I've got to deal with that hole somehow. So that's where all the cables come up from the other studio. In the past, I built this computer myself, but on this occasion I decided that I hadn't got the time with building another computer for my office downstairs and speccing that one up. I thought I'd outsource it, and over the years I've used a guy called Mike from Platinum Arrow. I'll leave a description below, and he's taken care of all my IT needs for the last 10 years or so. So it'll all be going off to him and hopefully coming back in an upgraded state. Oh, weighs a ton. I'm hoping while he has it, he can give it all a clean, clean the filters. Right, let's start to clear some of this mess up. Got all that, and all this, and all of that. The only way I'm going to do this is to actually break it off. And I think when I made this, I probably glued it as well. I think I made it too well. Okay guys, I think we can all see what the danger is here if I slip, but so the question is that enough? I try and prise that off there. I think we might be there, you know. I think we might be there. Hey, hey! Success, we're clear. Grand. So guys, now that we've got the laser set up, that mark there is the centre of the room. And as you can see, the window is offset from centre. So as you can see, if it picks up on the camera, that's how far. The yellow tape on the desk is the centre of the desk. So we've been about 120 mil, so what's that in old money? 5 inch off centre, and it's been like that for 4 years. So I've been mixing everything off centre for 4 years. So the plan is to move the entire desk about 5 inches that way, and we're bringing it this way to around about where those bits of tape are. So the next job will be to open these shutters for the first time in 4 years. So let's see what's behind these. Well, it's not too bad. Pretty warm. So a little bit of clean up, and then these can go back. So that's us lined up, dead nut centre. It does look odd, obviously, because this wing is twice the width of that one, but that is the centre. It has been moved back a bit, so we have left floor space, but I am hoping that we just get that little better imagery. Now the next issue I've got is speaker placement, because the Adams, the A77Xs are great speakers, but in a room this size their horizontal positioning for the low end is a bit of a challenge. And what we've noticed is that when we sit back here on the settee, which is a lot lower down, there's a much higher bass frequency, much higher level of bass than when you're sat in the mix position. Now that might not be a bad thing. It might mean that when you mix from the mix position you're putting a bit more energy into the bottom end. Bearing in mind the Adam A77s go down to 38 Hertz, so you don't really need a subwoofer for the type of music that we do. If you're doing EDM, then yeah, I think you would probably need a subwoofer. So the other alternative is to actually position the Adams on the shelves so they are lower down and more in line with your ears, rather than having them up here facing down. Don't know. We shall have to have a play. And as I say, because the window is off centre and the panels on either side are a different size, it all looks a bit strange, but that's the centre. So it's about a week later. We took a sneaky little holiday into North Norfolk, which was very nice, or would have been had it not been for the great British weather. Pissed down for the whole week. Anyhow, we're back at the studio. We've got a few jobs in hand, and I've been mentioning that we've got some new kit, and everybody gets all excited thinking it's sound gear, but sadly it's not. So let's show you what we've got ahead of us the next few days. As you will notice, the monitor that was there has disappeared, and those monitors were fed by these old analog cameras. The problem with them was that the field of view wasn't very wide, so we decided to upgrade to these cameras. The problem is that these cameras are HD cameras. These were analog. So in order to connect these cameras to a monitor, you've got to convert from the HD camera to HDMI. We could use the RF cable that's interconnecting the two studios, but we've subsequently had 4 channels of Cat6 installed, and I have to terminate those into these boxes, and that will then allow us to transmit the cameras over Cat6. However, in order to do that, you've got to convert HDMI into Cat6, and these are a transmitter and a receiver. I also wanted to be able to link the monitor in the other studio to the computer and decide whether or not to feed the camera that's in here to the monitor there or the computer. So I put a splitter so that I can split a signal to go to either monitors, but then I've got to be able to patch which signal is going through. So we bought a few of these to go into our AV patch bay. I'll have to remove some of the BNC ones, and using these little jumper cables I'll be able to patch what signal goes to which monitor. We've got to find a means of mounting what were the monitors, these monitors that were here on this pole, we are now going to use as the inter-studio monitors. So in order to put one of those up there, we've had to purchase this, and I'm hoping, I've measured it and it should just give me enough reach to be able to put the monitor somewhere in the middle there. And then for the second monitor that's going in the other studio, we've had to purchase this one. But then I hear you say, well, what are you going to use for your main monitors? Well, tomorrow we have 2 new larger monitors coming, and instead of mounting them on the pole that's this close to us, we're going to hang a couple of chains and have some eye bolts in the back of the TVs to mount onto the chains. So we'll have 2 larger monitors that's that bit further away from us, but what that'll also give me is a bit more depth on the desk to move everything back a bit. You might have also noticed that the RME is missing as well. So, bit of advice, guys, don't buy cheap headphone converters, because the tip of this one just broke off in the socket, and try as I might, I couldn't get it out, even to the point where I took the casing off the RME and tried to get it out, and in doing so I've knackered the headphone socket. So that's gone off for a replacement and repair. So that was quite a costly mistake. So don't buy cheap headphone jacks, buy the good quality ones. So just a quick update. We have the new monitor installed in the drumming room. The camera is fitted but not wired in yet. And we have the Cat 6 all wired in. And in the main studio we have got new monitors hung. I'm hoping that will work a lot better with them being set back from the desk. The new inter-studio monitors up and running. I've now just got to mount the new camera, and the Cat 6 is all wired in. And then the next job is to reinstall the RME, which we got back. That was an expensive mistake, £106 to replace 2 headphone jacks, and I want to sort that out and get that all organised. So we'll crack on with that. So another quick update. We've got the camera positioned, but can anybody spot the problem? It looked great when I first put it there, but let's go see. Yeah, that's not going to work. So let's reposition that one. So I've repositioned that. I've set the feed to this monitor. Yeah, much better. So as part of the maintenance, I've got the Mackie apart. Just trying to take care of a couple of faders. This one here is really stiff. I think there's something wrong with the cables that run from the motor. So I'll take this apart and we'll have a look inside. These, by the way, are the P&G mic. They've been pretty reliable. This controller's got to be a good 10-11 years old, and this is the first maintenance I've had to do on it. So oh yeah, can we see the cable has come off this top roller. Also looks as if it's come off the spine here. This is not going to be easy. Well, leave me with this. It's going to be boring for you to watch this, and we'll come back and see if we get it fixed in a bit. Well guys, I've been buggering about with this fader for hours and I cannot get the string to work properly on the barrel. It just keeps binding. So the Mackie has the 8 faders plus a master fader, and Pro Tools doesn't use the master fader, so I'm going to put that one back in, plug it in, but disconnect the cable so that the motorized bit of that fader won't work. I can buy replacement ones of these on eBay, but they're like 50 quid each, and to be honest, if it's never going to be used, it's not really worth it. Plus, at some point I would like to replace this control unit with a more up-to-date version. 2 things: if you've got a better way of restringing those motorized faders, please leave a comment below. And secondly, what controller do you think we should look at to replace the Mackie? So, having been open for the last couple of weeks, it's time to close up the shutters, and who knows, maybe it'll be another 4 years before they're opened again. Put that one in. There we go. 4 years. Okay guys, we're not entirely finished, but I thought to finish off this video I'd just show you where we're at. There's only little bits to do, so we'll kind of ignore that mess. Got the big monitors hung. The inter-studio monitor at the moment is connected to the PC, so that's what we get. Oh, look at that. Available on Bandcamp. these are the quality headphone adapters, and that's how we covered up that hole. Okay guys, if you've enjoyed that, please hit the like and subscribe button. It certainly helps the channel out, and hit that notification bell, and in maybe another 7 weeks time you'll get notified of the next video. Catch you on the next one.